I want to return to a critical issue, and of course that's water. And this tension between promises regarding environmental flows and the water needed to grow the food to feed us. Key in this, of course, are the issues around the Murray-Darling Basin, which provides water for half of Australia's agricultural sector and nearly 90% of our irrigated farming. Before the election, Labor pledged to deliver 450 gigalitres of water, about the size of Sydney Harbour, back to the Murray-Darling Basin, but Water Minister Tanya Plibersek has been forced to walk back those commitments today and throwing blame at the former government. So to understand what's really happening here, I want to bring in former Nationals leader and member for New England, Barnaby Joyce. Barnaby, welcome to Credlin. Huge frustration in Basin communities. You know that better than anyone. They're feeling that yet again they're now a political football with Labor between water they need to grow the food and fibre for us and for our exports, and of course these environmental flows. What's Plibersek's plan here?
Well, hopefully Plibersek's plan is not to create a massive economic hit to towns such as Shepparton and Mildura, or all the way up to our area in Tamworth. We're in the Murray-Darling Basin. What people have to understand is that this 450, where it actually emanated from, was right back when Tony Burke was the water minister. And to get the South Australians on side, they come up with this sort of surreal 450 gigs. Sydney Harbour's 435, so that's a lot of water. That they were going to send to South Australia as long as it didn't cause any socio or economic detriment. They're very precise about that. Now, you can't take a megalitre of water out without causing socio-economic detriment. And so people clearly understand when they do these buybacks, of course the farmer gets the money, but the hairdresser loses the client. The farmer gets the money, but the tyre business loses their client base. The farmer gets the money, but the solicitors and the accountants miss out. And so it takes a real hit. And so now what is happening is reality is biting people hard, and they see that if they go down this path, if you really want to stir people up, tell them that you're going to decimate their town by taking away the economic base, which is the irrigation that grows the crops. And for you, the listener, the less food they grow, the more you restrict supply, the more your grocery bill goes up. All these things come back to a very simple thing. This problem ends up in your shopping trolley with you paying more.
Yeah, we have this issue though with Labor and water. We have this problem with all the water in recent floods just flowing out to the sea, and none of it captured in Australia. It's a bit like our gas issue. No shortage of water, no shortage of gas, just not enough stored of either of those things to use. And then we get Labor out today on the foot and mouth issue, Barnaby Joyce, announcing, despite this being 6 weeks in to the crisis, announcing today, only today, to set up a task force to address the foot and mouth disease issue. Now, Labor don't get the bush. What's your reaction to this task force?
This issue, Peter, should be absolutely front and centre of every Australian, not just people on the land. A task force, well, that's going to stop the virus getting in, is it? Well, we're going to have we've got a room full of people having a gobfest whilst people are walking through Sydney Airport with their thongs that they had on the streets in Bali, where foot and mouth is.
So how worried are farmers?
Believe you me, incredibly worried. The farmers are incredibly worried because this is our income. I'm a cattle producer. I'm a sheep producer. I'm a wool producer, and this is at the forefront of people's minds. They can't work out why Canberra doesn't get it. Why Canberra is sort of asleep at the wheel. And I know that I was talking to my recently past father, but his mind was acute. And I was saying to him, as he's a vet, I said, look, what happens how do we get foot and mouth out if it gets in, the virology of it, and how do we go about that process? He was involved in brucellosis and tuberculosis eradication, the senior person in that area. He said the best way to get rid of foot and mouth from this country is to never let it in.
We are, Barnaby. I've got to leave it there, but thank you for your time. And hey, condolences on your dad, on the loss of your dad.